just like strength and conditioning. We're not gonna get any better at it if we don't practice it. So a couple of times a day for a couple of minutes, I'm just asking that you either pick one of these systems from a breathing standpoint, or you invent your own, and I'm okay with that. Because as you get into kind of hurricane moments, and you are performance-wise, where there's just stuff going on all around you, it's a tense moment in a game, it's a big time at bat, it's a spot on the mound where you've got to deliver your best stuff in one pitch. It's a scenario at short or first or left or wherever you're at, where the ball comes to you, you got to know what to do with it, and you've got to make the right decision at the moment in time, so that everything gets executed properly. And just simply having the practice of being able to breathe appropriately is going to position you so much better to be able to do that. So as you get better at this, you can literally in 1 or 2 breaths get the entire system calmed down and in a spot where you're able to perform as good as you can. And that can literally happen with, all right, I'm good to go. I am ready to go, because I've done all the practice that I need to do from a breathing standpoint. All right, last thing I'm going to hand you. Same deal, just take one of these. Yeah, you're welcome.
Charlie, I would just add that out of everything that we've covered on the mental performance side of things, I think that the breathing is what I have noticed the most with our athletes, and especially at the plate, where you see them take a step out, take that deep breath, collect themselves, and get going.
That's great, right? Because that's your time. You're trying to control that relationship. The pitcher's trying to dictate what that relationship looks like, and you've got some opportunities to change that up with your timing and some things that you do. But you get to control fully your approach to that at bat, and hopefully some sort of breathing strategy is going to be part of that as you're not only in the hole, when you move into the on deck position, and then once you eventually, right, get yourself up to the box and get your cleats dug in, that you're ready to go. This last sheet then is, I like to look to the major leagues. I figure if they're doing it, that's got to be the top, that is the absolute epitome of baseball. And so if they're trying to pull these things off, why not try and do it at a lower level? And so that's what this stillness thing is. Bernie Holiday is a colleague of mine. He was at West Point for a long period of time. He's now with Pitt. Does most of his work with Pitt Athletics, but since he's positioned there, he's been in a great spot then to be able to help with the Pirates. And so this is a project he does specifically with guys in the Pirates organization, with the belief that our lives are chaotic, that just we're super busy, we don't take any time to slow down. Chances are you got up really early this morning, you maybe had an early lift. If that's what's going on, you at least got up and went to school, and you've got homework, and then you've got all sorts of other demands, and then of course you're here right now, and chances are when you leave here, you're going to go and do something else, right? You're going to go watch a game, you're going to go home and eat, you're going to go knock out some homework, it's just going to be a cycle, and it's just going to keep going. And we have very, very little time where there isn't noise. And so the Stillness Project then is just an opportunity with really for 10 minutes, one time a week, we position ourselves in a dark, quiet spot with no stimuli, no phones, no radios, no TVs, no anything, and just absorb as much as we can from that experience. And it's going to be hard. I do this with my athletes at the U, and they struggle with it immensely. But the ones that stick with it come back to me and tell me it's probably been the most impactful thing that they've done in terms of the mental side of going after sport. There's really no way to do it wrong. Just go in. If you've got a blindfold or a bandana or something that you can put over your eyes, that's going to help. Lay on a bed, that's fine. Some of you might fall asleep. Happens to my athletes all the time. There's nothing wrong with that, because you're tired, and if you lay in a dark spot, falling asleep is a real logical thing that's going to happen. No worries, no judgment. Wake up, go after it again, or try another session a day later, or whatever. And again, not a huge ask, 10 minutes of your time once a week to just sit in that silence and see what happens. Thoughts will come into your head, they'll get stuck sometimes, pass it on through if you can. A great way to kind of augment the process then is to again practice when you're breathing strategies. So that as you're laying there and wondering what the heck is gonna happen, and you're distracted by the clock ticking or your sister banging on the wall or the TV that's in the other room or whatever, as you get better and better and better at it, you'll be able to start shutting those things out and just relish that moment of being still. Because again, there ain't another 10 minutes in your day where there's not something going on. And what it's basically training you to do is survive kind of in the eye of the hurricane. Because everything all the time is going on around us, and we can be that center spot where it's just calm and relaxed and we can handle everything that comes our way. And as we push that sort of a mindset into a performance application, again, in a huge spot on the mound, in a big at bat at the plate, in a key spot defensively, and we're able to see it that way, nothing's gonna rattle us. I'm able to handle anything that occurs. People around me might be losing it, but I'm gonna be as calm as possible. That's a great position to be in if you wanna perform at your best, versus being tight and distracted and nervous and anxious, which is the way most other people are in big moments. You can be the exact opposite of that, but it just takes practice. All right, questions on any of that? All right, so if you were new tonight, your homework then is going to be to circle back and do the one mental strength and one area that you need some work on. And then also there was a handout for journaling and just giving you some ideas on some things that might go into your journal. But ultimately, again, this is your document. And then for everybody that's here tonight, your kind of journal homework then is a couple things getting started on your breathing exercises and keeping track of how you're doing with that in the journal. And then at some point in the next 7 days before we meet again next Thursday, of giving the stillness stuff at least one shot, one try at the stillness. And as it says on that sheet, if for some reason, man, it just doesn't work, don't do it. Don't do it. If it's scary or anxiety provoking or just absolutely is something that you don't want to do, don't do it. All right.
No questions for Charlie? Everybody's good?
Stunned them into silence.
They're never this quiet, ever.
What's Skylar doing?
He's doing good.